All right, good morning, everybody. Another good day of trading here. 3 trades today, all pretty decent. We had SUNW, we had PBF, and we had one other one, UPST. So we're going to break them all down in this video. Check out what happened today. They were all shorts, all on stocks that were going up, all coming off the Intensity Stock Watch scanner. So if you guys want to get in on that, check the link in the description below. Code GDTISW for 20 to 30% off of your subscription every single month. Let's trade. All right, so first trade of the day here was on SUNW. You can see it alerting up into the 40s on the intensity scanner right below my beautiful head here. And I'm watching it and I'm like, well, this thing's pushed up nicely. So I was going to try and get an order above where it was just because I'm planning on taking 500 shares here, which is a little bit more. So I would like to get the rebates there. It pops up there. I have the order at 470. It stalls just under it. So I take that out and I'm ready to push that order up a little bit higher. If it wants to continue pushing, I push it up to 475. Now it pushes right up to about 470. I'm like, okay, maybe I can get even higher than 475. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that order out. Now I'll get ready at 480 if it wants to make that kind of move. So I put an order out here at 480 for 500 shares. And we're on the ask there for a second. Don't get it at first. But then we get the fill there, 500 shares short on SUNW at 480. And then it moves almost immediately into a halt at 487. But looking pretty good on this one. We've got 500 shares short, looking for a nice pop through 5 coming out of the halt. If it can make that move, that would be pretty nice. Willing to get some share size into SUNW if I am able to on this one. But I was looking at the chart as we were in the halt, and I decided to put an order out at 460 for if it came out of the halt. It had the potential. I've watched halts a lot of times. They do a quick flash to the downside before they make that push up to new highs. So I put an order out there at 460 to cover the whole thing in case it made a move like that and have, once again, rebates on that order. So I'm watching SUNW. It's been almost 5 minutes, and we're getting ready to see what it's going to do coming out of the halt. I'm ready to go with another 500 shares if it gets up above 5. Otherwise, we have the order there sitting at 460 to take just the whole thing here on SUNW. So it's getting ready to open any second here. The imbalance is showing right where it left off, and then boom, just like that, like immediately coming out of the halt, it shoots down, fills me at 460, and we're up $100 on it. So this one kind of chopped down and up a little bit from there, so completely okay with how I played this one, making that quick money there and getting the day started off pretty good. Happy with that. Next trade was on PBF. You can see this one also alerting on the scanner below. At least it was. Yep, there it is. Into the 20s. I go ahead and get started. 100 shares here at 25.45, and this one I'm willing to add in more than the regular 112 because the range in it is not huge. So I started a little bit lower with the idea that I would have the ability to add in more if I didn't get where I thought the area-ish of the top was going to be. So in here, 100 shares, 25.45, just front running that $0.50. It starts moving a little bit more here. It's pushing up higher. I'm looking at the 25.70s. It's getting right into those 25.70s where it's stalling. So I put out an order again at 25.70 with another 100 shares to add to my position here. I get that fill there, and I now have 200 shares short at an average of 25.57. So feeling pretty good about this one. It's starting to struggle and show signs that it may be done on the move to the upside, and then all of a sudden starts shooting down quickly below both of my entries, which, as you guys know, is always what I'm looking for. So I'm ready with 100 shares, makes another nice move down into the 25.20s, and I go ahead and get a fill right there for half of the share size, down to 100 shares now, looking for a further move down with the rest of the shares. So now I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I can probably look for another 50 of the shares if it gets down towards 25, thinking that it may have that possibility of doing the bounce off of the whole number. So I'm going to watch it here, and at first I was going to put an order out right at 25.01, which I do oftentimes with 50 of the shares, but I start watching it here, and it's kind of getting held up in the low teens, 25.10 area, as we'll watch the level 2, the bid and the ask here on PDF. It starts getting held up here for a minute, so I'm like, maybe this thing is just going to hold up here just a little bit above 25 before it starts making the bounce. So instead of having that order sitting out there, I'm going to wait and see if it can get below those 25.10s at all, and maybe take a 50 share partial out there if it can get below that 25.10. So it gets below there. I see it get down to 25.04. I put an order out at 25.06, and I'm going to go ahead and get that fill there for another 50 of the shares here on PBF. Down to 50 shares left. Looking for a move down through 25, down about 24.80, I think would be decent here on PBF if it could keep going. Didn't really expect it to be an immediate move. It had already made a really nice pullback off of the highs, 70 cents at this point, so that's almost a full point in 2 minutes here on the pullback on PDF, but it does make it. It gets down quickly. I go ahead and get the fill there, and just like that, PDF is a beautiful chart. Love seeing all the green dots below all of the red dots. That means you're making some money. So feeling good about the day. Can we find another? Yes, we can. This time it's on UPST. This one's alerting to the teens on the scanner, so I'm watching it, and I'm not 100% sure of where this thing may go, so I decide if I'm going to start it, I'm going to go ahead and start it real small and see if it wants to run, with the idea that I'll then have the leverage in the room to get in more as it keeps going. So I started here 25 shares short at 118.68 here on UPST, and it starts immediately running nicely up to 119.50s. I go ahead and add another 25 shares short there, now short 50 shares at 119.10, and still willing to go even above that normal 112 that you see me do often because I'm in such small share size here. So looking for this nice pop through the 120s to add in then 50 shares and get up to a total of 100. So it gets just above 120 here, and at first I'm like, that pop's not too great, but then it gives me a nice pop there through the 120s. I go ahead and add in 50 more, and I now have 100 shares short on UPST at an average of 119.76. So it's kind of stalling after that 120 pop, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it. The chart's not my perfect ideal looking chart. So if we come down below my average here, back down below 119.50, I may look to take 75% of the trade off and then see if the other 25% can continue down from there. So this one kind of hangs out here for a while. It's good that it's not showing any signs of life to the upside, but it's also not really pulling back yet. So at this point, I'm pretty set in my mind that if it gets down below 119.50, I'll take 75% off, which is in this case 75 shares, and let the other 25 shares ride and see if they can make any money here on UPST, because once it goes through a little pullback here, I'm not really interested in the adding anymore like I was when it was making that initial move. So starts coming down a little bit here, pressing down into the 50s there, into the 60s, waiting for 119.50, a break there on the bid to go ahead and click the button with those 75 shares. It's bouncing around a little bit. Not sure what it wants to do here, but then it starts coming down a bit. You can see it getting down into the 60s. We're now looking better on the candles. They're pushing down. They're making lower highs, and right down near that breakdown point, I go ahead and click it. It actually flushed down towards 119, but I didn't get the fill until 119.47. Then makes a real nice move. I put a wrong order out there for a second, but I'm like, if I can get a full point below where I just took my first partial down through 118.50, on these 25, I will just take the rest off. Now, it would have been nice had I gotten them all down there, but I eventually just get those 25 right there, and I've added another $53 to the day. Now, this one did end up crashing down further, so could have done better here on UPST, but I wasn't as confident in it overall, so that's what it is. And that's going to be it for the day. So 3 for 3 today, making $250. All 3 trades coming directly off of the intensity scanner. Really good day today. I enjoy these kind of days. Hopefully you guys do too. Hopefully we can have a lot more of them. March is going really well so far, even though we started the month red on the very first trading day of March. It's been really nice green days since then. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure you hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.